Welcome to Career Biz, the podcast of the University Career Center at UNC Charlotte. I'm Jay.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Jessie.
We have made it to the end of the fall semester, as it were.
Oh my
Congratulations,
goodness.
everyone. Yeah.
Almost there.
It only took us 10 years, it feels like, but
Yep.
we finally got there. But yeah, right now, there are a few faculty and staff still back on campus here, but this is after Thanksgiving break. And so majority of our students are going completely remotely for the rest of your semester. And we wanted to talk to you about some things to do to kind of get yourself geared up and ready as you head down the stretch of finals, but also how to stay engaged in your career development over the holiday break. And so we want to start with that first, Patrick, with you, some tips and strategies to make the most of your time off.
Yeah, I think the biggest strategy over the holiday break is to still try to stay engaged somehow, some way. Now, we're not asking you to do 8 hours a day because we want you to take naps. We want you to rest up because there's a whole nother semester for those of you coming back. We're not graduating in the spring, but 30 minutes a day, why not? 30 minutes a day to continue your research, update your resumes, making sure that you're still on track for the different things that you're trying to do. 30 minutes a day is my biggest recommendation over the holidays, just to make sure that everything's going on.
I think that's a great strategy, Patrick. And I think tapping into the holidays and how we are normally, depending on what life looks like this year is yet to be said, but normally you're around more family members, you're back home typically, so you might be able to tap in with friends and all that. Take advantage of whether you're seeing these people in person or potentially setting up lots of Zoom calls. Might be a great time to have some informational interviews, right? So doing a little bit of career exploration, digging a little bit deeper to better understand what your people are doing, what's a day in the life like for them. That could be a really easy, quick thing to tap into for Patrick's 30-minute kind of strategy a day. But just have some conversations with people, do some learning, ask some questions, and help yourself find, what's a good fit if you're in that kind of stage of your career exploration.
And Jesse, you bring up a great point. I love informational interviews, and just to demystify that for everybody, if you think like, oh, that has to be, I have to do all this pre-work or whatever. No, you don't. Connect to people on LinkedIn that you think are interesting and ask them, tell me a little bit about what you do. Just tell me how you got there, what you do every day, what's it like versus what I may read about on Google or have heard about in a classroom. People love to talk about their jobs, and people that are putting themselves out there on LinkedIn especially love to do that. So you kind of got an easy win there. Also, good time to recommend, go to the University of North Carolina, Charlotte alumni page and connect to alums through that or through the new alumni resources that we just highlighted on recent shows. The My 49er Network is a great place to connect to other Niners who are willing to talk to you about what they're doing. And I think, both of my colleagues here have really laid it out. Just do a little bit every day. So if it's nothing more than putting out a little calendar reminder at different times on your phone to check into LinkedIn, like let that be kind of your starting point. The other thing I'd say is, and I get this question a lot, is like, should I bother with Hire Niner during the break? Let me just give you a quick thing, y'all. Over the 2 days we were out for Thanksgiving break, we had 70 jobs posts on Hire Niner. So when we came back to work today, there was a lot of work to do. So the answer is yes. There's always something new going into Hire Niner. So keep through that too. Make that part of your 30-minute check through.
Yeah, and I want to also add that even if you're the kind of person that says, well, the holidays, I don't want to talk to people, I'm not good at that. At the very least, review their LinkedIn profiles like Jay and Jesse have been saying, just to see if there's any common skills, any common certifications, any common competencies that people in the space that you want to go into have. That'll give you a plan of action for next semester in the summer of what you need to be doing. Because if you want to be a financial analyst, you need to know X, Y, and Z to be a good candidate to get those jobs. Just having a degree doesn't magically make you that you can get that job. You need to have the skills, the competency, and the degree to be that top candidate for that's out there. So might as well figure it out now. And especially if I could also opine on something, a lot of times we feel like we just don't have time during the semester to do all this stuff. Now you have the time. What's your excuse? Get it moving.
So true. And I mean, we fully expect you to take a break. I completely understand that. I think we all need breaks. Just throwing that out there. But Jay, I really like that you said too, when you suggested putting in some reminders on your calendar. to do it at random times per day. I know that I am super guilty of, gosh, if I have a daily reminder at the same time, I'm just going to blow right through that and ignore it. But do take some time, take advantage of the extra break and again, free, quote unquote, free time that you have on your hands to do a little bit of digging. It'll only help prepare yourself for the future and again, be a little bit more strategic.
I want to ask both of you too, because the big thing that's looming over everyone right now is final exams and getting ready for that. Some tips on managing stress, managing time as you're getting into the home stretch of classes and things. Jessie, what do you say?
Gosh, well, my personal strategy for that is to take a break from the computer screen. So whether that's take a little walk outside, go do some yoga, go play with your dog or your cat or your kid, whatever that looks like for you. Just take some time away from school, which for a lot of you right now means straight up staring at your computer all day. So giving yourself a little bit of break and some me time, I think is really helpful. And same concept as what we were talking about earlier, schedule it into your day, right? So schedule in your 15, 20, 30-minute breaks between classes, between study sessions. So that way you feel refreshed when you come back to whatever the next subject is.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Jessie. I think the biggest thing, and we might have talked about this in one of our previous shows, time chunking, just doing about 30 minutes at a time, because the human brain can't concentrate for more than 45 minutes, like full 100% concentration for more than 45 minutes at a time. So do it in 30-minute blocks, take a 10-minute break, like what Jessie said, come back and do another 30 minutes. I bet you your mind will remember and retain a lot more than just trying to study and do something for 5 hours straight.
And literally set an alarm. I've done that either during the workday. I used to do that when I was in school too. So that way, when that alarm goes off, you literally have to stand up and get out of your seat and go do whatever you need to do to get that break. So just throwing that out there as well.
Jesse, that's a great point, because I was sitting here earlier this morning working, and I looked down and I had been doing like whatever at the screen for 3 hours. And I was like, I have to walk away from this for 20 minutes just to not do that. I think you both have hit on something. There's only so much you can in capacity fit in your brain at one time anyway. So give your mind time to recover that too. If you're a runner or you're exercise or anything like that, there's only so far you can go. And then what you have to do is to do the cool down period, right? Same goes with the way your brain works, y'all. Work on it a little bit, do the cool down period, work on it a little bit, do the cool down period. I'll also turn that back to our career engagement conversation, whether you're exploring your options or you're networking for jobs or internships, whatever that might be. Also have some time to catch up with your friends from college over the break. Do Zoom party fun with each other. So everybody chip in and do one of those great trivia nights or something like that. Do something like that where you can stay connected to people, but it's not always around something formal, right? Like try to build in a little bit of fun for yourself, because the reality is, in the world we're in right now, we can't get out and about as much as we like to do. We can't really be around the places we all like to go necessarily. So do schedule in some fun stuff for yourself. And I think it's neat that Patrick and I are sitting here talking about all this schedule stuff, and neither one of us really live life by a schedule. Jesse, you're much more scheduled than both of us. And I think you made a great
annoyingly
point
so.
of not scheduling something at the same time every day too.
Mm-hmm.
Because it does become, if it's like, that pops up every morning, it's like, yeah, I'm just going to ignore that, but if you do it at different times, you're more likely to follow through on it. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's where I think Jessie and us differ. So I like to do a to-do list. And so I do quick hits, and I'll go do those first. So it gives me the energy that I'm actually accomplishing something. And then I'll get to the harder ones, and I have that energy to kind of blow through them as well. But yeah, Jessie, you have better time blocking than I do. I just kind of have a bunch of crap I got to do today, and I'm going to do it.
I do the same thing though. I love having a to-do list, and it does feel good to get those, even if it's respond to 5 emails or whatever it might be, those little things that just
respond to the director's email.
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah,
get out of bed today. Check.
and I think, Patrick, you bring up something great too, because I employ that a lot. Is I'll do the stuff that's little, but that may take just a few minutes amount of time, but if I leave them all off at the end, they'll either get forgotten or I won't get it done. Do all of those first, and I'll be like, wow, I did 7 things in a row. And then do the stuff where it's deep dive. I need to read over it. The email Patrick sent me earlier today, whatever it might be, so I can really dig in and spend some time on it, because there is something true about that idea of you feel like you're succeeding, that you're getting somewhere. Same goes too with your networking, your outreach, and all that kind of stuff. Take account for what you've done. So if you send 5 LinkedIn messages to somebody in one day trying to connect to someone, make a note that like, okay, I sent 10 of those, or I sent 5 of those. And then like, okay, so the next day when I do my 30-minute check-in or whatever, I'm going to look and see if anybody's replied. And then I'm going to also make a note of where I go next. Just those little increments keep you on track. And the stuff we're telling you to do now are great success strategies for when you get on the internship or on the job too, of how you're going to have to manage your time. Because I bumped into a colleague from UNC Charlotte here over the break at a gas station. And I said, well, how's it going? And we talked a little bit, and I said, so when do you think you'll roll back in the office? He said, my position's been converted to completely work from home now. And I'm like, wow, that's a big change.
Wow.
and that more and more you're going to see that in the workforce going forward. There's going to be a lot more split time, a lot more work remotely opportunities out there, and that's going to put a lot of onus on you to be good self-time managers. That's going to wrap us up here for episode 34 of Career Bits. You can keep up with the happenings of the Career Center at career.uncc.edu, or follow us on social media at Niner Careers. If you listen to the show, please give a positive review on Apple, as it helps other folks find it. Share it with your friends and fam, and also like our video on YouTube. We appreciate your support. Good luck on your finals. Stay strong, stay in there, and realize the Career Center is here to help you any way we can. We'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.